Let me ask you a question. Where do the ultra wealthy actually live in Jacksonville? And I don't mean the places that everyone actually talks about. I mean the neighborhoods that you just don't stumble into, the ones that you don't find by accident. Because Jacksonville isn't as flashy as Miami, of course. It doesn't flex like Palm Beach, and it doesn't need to. The reason being, the real wealth here moves quietly behind the gates, along water, down tree-lined streets where privacy matters more than attention. This is old Florida money meeting new national wealth. We're talking about executives, athletes, founders, legacy families, people who value position over visibility. What's happening here isn't random. It's all strategic, guys. And this video isn't about buying a house, not at all. It's about understanding where power actually lives in Jacksonville. Because once you've understood that, everything about Jacksonville actually starts to make sense. When people talk about old money in the Northeast Florida area, this is where the conversation usually starts. Ponte Vedra. It isn't loud, it isn't trendy, and it's definitely not trying to impress you. It already knows who it is. This is generational wealth. We're talking about legacy families, CEOs, private equity, strong PGA influence, people who didn't just land here, they chose it. And the price points reflect that. Homes in this area typically start around $1 million. And it's not uncommon to see high-end sales pushing 15, 16, even $17 million. But Ponte Vedra isn't just about numbers. It's about the feel. Because the moment you drive down A1A, something completely shifts. I'm talking about long stretches of breathtaking homes. Ocean on one side, sand dunes on the other. Palm trees, coastal light, and the architectural that just hits. And I'll say it, it feels California sexy. The kind of drive where you roll down the windows, slow the car down just a little, and realize it isn't just a beach town. It's a statement. We're talking about private beach access, golf clubs with real waiting lists, estates tucked behind maritime forests, where you can live steps from the ocean and still completely removed from the world. Now, homes here aren't just built for attention. They're built for longevity. These are the ones that are passed down. They're protected. They're designed to blend in, not stand out. Because Ponte Vedra isn't about just showing wealth. It's about protecting it. And that's exactly why year after year, this remains one of the tightly held and most respected and quiet, powerful places to live in Northeast Florida. And if the conversation about wealth actually starts in Ponte Vedra, I'm kind of confused that no one actually talks about Palm Valley, which is right there. And they're really not even talking about Marsh Landing. And I just cannot understand why. Because I've seen homes out here that look like something straight out of a fairy tale movie. We're talking about long, winding driveways, massive oak trees draped over the streets, homes tucked so far back you can barely even see them. And when you do, they're jaw-dropping. We're talking about Marsh Landing Country Club. It's one of the most quietly elite neighborhoods in all of Northeast Florida. This is guard gated. We're talking about low turnover, no noise, no chaos, and the price point tells the real story. On average, homes out here are selling for $2.3, $3.3 million range. But here's where it gets interesting. We've seen 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom homes trade hands for over $15 million. Let that sink in. Not because of the square footage, but because of the land, the privacy, the waterfront positioning, and the level of exclusivity you simply can't recreate anymore. Now, this is where finance executives live. We're talking about medical leaders, business owners who value control over attention. And then there's the marina. Private docks, deep water access, a real yacht lifestyle, not a wave at the water from across the street type situation. This is coastal luxury without public beaches, tourist traffic, or people just passing through. Marsh Landing doesn't try to impress you. It doesn't need to, because once you're inside the gates, you realize this isn't flashy luxury. This is confident luxury. This is the kind of place where homes don't sit. Neighbors don't leave, and people who live here plan to actually stay. Palm Valley may fly under the radar, but Marsh Landing, this is one of the best kept secrets in Jacksonville. And let me say this because it matters. Most people relocate to Jacksonville without this level of insight. They move based off photos, rankings, and what someone else told them, and that can be stressful. And we've helped people move here that never even knew these pockets existed. And once they kind of understand the difference, it just kind of clicks for them. That's why people call on us every day, not to just buy a house, but to understand the landscape before making that move. So if that's you, think thinking about moving to Jacksonville or you're already living in Jacksonville, we're here to serve you. Reach out. I'm going to put all of our contact information down below. Pin it to the top of the chat. And before wealth stretched towards the beaches, before master plan communities, before gates and guardhouses, power settled along the river. And one of the clearest examples of that is Ortega Forest. This part of Ortega feels different. Like it's more tucked away, it's more intentional, almost hidden. And that's exactly the point out here. The streets are quiet. They have heavy canopies. Homes sit back from the road like they're protecting their own privacy. This isn't flashy wealth. This is established wealth. Recent listings are showing an average of about $1.1 million, but that doesn't tell the story, because what you're really buying in Ortega isn't square footage, it's setting, it's lineage, it's proximity to the river without needing to even announce it. And for me, this place hits a little bit different because the Yacht Club holds a very special place in my heart. This was the very first fine dining restaurant where I ever got the chance or opportunity to hone my skills as a chef. Long before there was real estate, long before cameras, this is where I learned discipline, attention to detail, and what true service at a high level actually looks like. So when I walk through Ortega, I don't just see beautiful homes. I feel history. I feel personal growth and a level of quiet excellence that never needs validation. This is riverfront legacy without the spectacle. A neighborhood for people who know exactly who they are and don't need to prove it. Ortega Forest isn't trying to be discovered. It's trying to be preserved. But as Jacksonville expands, not all wealth stays anchored to the river. Some of it moves inward, closer to commerce, closer to corporations, closer to controlled access. And that shift gave rise to the very different type of power. As Jacksonville grew, wealth didn't just spread out, it got organized. And that's what led to the evolution of Deerwood Country Club. Now, this isn't just a neighborhood. This is 900 acres of just private country club, designed around control, access, and a very specific lifestyle. Deerwood attracts corporation leaders, right? Executives, decision makers, people who value central location with guarded privacy, and the community that understands how power moves. The homes here are custom, intentional, built to last. Prices typically start climbing once you get that custom home tier, with many of these properties reaching over 1.4 million and well beyond that. Deerwood isn't just about homes, it's about the club. And I tell you this firsthand, every year it seems that I get invited to some event at the clubhouse, and every single time I'm impressed. The scale, the food, the views overlooking the golf course is polished, it's elevated, and it's done just right. This is where relationships are built over dinners, where conversations happen between holes, and where the setting quietly reinforces the status of the people inside of it. Deerwood doesn't try to feel exclusive. It just is. This is luxury for people who don't want a spectacle. They want structure. A place where everything is in reach, everything is intentional, and nothing feels accidental. Deerwood Country Club isn't about the flash. It's about control. It's about consistency. It's about confidence. But for some of the buyers, luxury isn't defined by the fairways and, of course, those clubhouses. It's defined by what's parked behind the house and how quickly you can be on the water. That's where Jacksonville's next chapter takes a turn towards access. Some luxury neighborhoods, they have to announce themselves. Others sit quietly, hidden right in plain sight. That's exactly what Queen Harbor's Yacht Club does. This yachty-driven luxury without the spotlight. Now, the kind of place where you notice if you already know what you're looking for, but homes out here typically range from like $1.4 to $1.5 million, with price that reflects something very specific, luxury homes. Now, you have golf court access and direct proximity to water. Queens Harbor sits near the intercoastal waterways, the St. Johns River, and the beaches, which means access is in every direction. This is a lifestyle built around movement. You're not fighting traffic to get on the water. You're not trailering your boats, you're stepping out back. Check this out. Private docks, a protected marina, a community designed for people who actually use their boats. That's what separates this place. The homes aren't screaming for attention. They're positioned for function. And because the community is full of gates, you get something that's actually really rare in Jacksonville. You have water access without public exposure. You're close to everything, yet insulated from it. Queens Harbor doesn't make itself aggressively known. It doesn't need to. But people who live here already understand the value of access to the river, to the intercoastal, to the ocean, and back home again without any friction at all. This is luxury that moves quietly, travels well, and stays underneath the radar, hidden in plain sight. And that has been by design. But not all wealth is inherited, and not all luxury hugs the water. Some of it is built deliberately, planned from the ground up for modern success, family life, and long-term momentum. That's where Jacksonville's new power is taking shape. For some people, luxury doesn't mean gates and acreage and driveways, right? It means waking up close to the ocean and living where life actually feels alive. Now, that's exactly what you're going to get at the beaches. So we have Jacksonville Beach, we have Atlantic Beach, we have Neptune Beach, which represents one of the most desirable coastal lifestyles in all of Northeast Florida. And this isn't just local hype. Jacksonville's been ranked number 14, and Atlantic Beach came in at 17 on the national list, placing them ahead of majority of major beach communities in Miami, Tampa, and Orlando. That kind of matters because it confirms what locals already know here. The lifestyle punches way above its weight. Homes here are typically range between $1.1 to $1.7 million, with premium oceanfront and newer construction pushing well past $6, $7, $8 million. And people will gladly pay it. Why? Because luxury that feels sexy and it's effortless. Walkable streets, boutique restaurants, coffee shops, wine bars, surfboards, all by the door. This is where success loosens up its tie a little bit, where you'll see execs in flip-flops, founders on beach cruisers, and family who value experience as much as square footage. Homes range from beautiful renovated beach cottages to those striking modern builds just steps away from the sand. Inventory, it stays tight. Demand, it stays strong. And once people get in, they rarely leave. This isn't like the vacation living thing. This is everyday life for people who've earned the freedom to choose it. But prestige doesn't always come from proximity to the ocean. Sometimes it comes from history. It comes from the architecture, from neighborhoods that have aged with intention and never lost their identity. That's where Jacksonville's culture capital lives. Now let's get this straight. Some neighborhoods don't need to prove anything. They already know who they are. That's exactly the energy you get down in Avondale and San Marco. Now, these areas kind of feel like the rich uncles of Jacksonville, the ones that sit right there by the river, sipping something expensive and quietly watch everything happen. Let's start with Avondale. Yes, you can technically find condos here in the $200,000 range, but let's be honest, that's not why people fall in love with Avondale. Where this neighborhood really steals the show is the homes. We're talking about multi-million-dollar historic properties, and for the high-end buyer, Riverside Estates along the St. Johns River pushing $3-4 million. Tree-lined streets, architecture with a little bit of soul, homes that feel grounded, established, and intentional. Avondale is excellence without all of the ego. Now, you cross the river, the energy shifts just enough, right? So San Marco is confident, refined, and knows exactly how good it looks. Homes here typically range from about $400,000 to well over $3-4 million. Like riverfront properties easily can exceed that $5 million price range. You'll find everything from 3-story townhouses starting at $1.1 million with beautiful views of the city skyline to $4 million homes sitting right on the St. Johns River. This lifestyle is luxury. And I'll say this. San Marco is probably one of my favorite places in Jacksonville to go get fine dining. The food scene here, polished, intentional, done right. They know how to cook. This kind of spot where you don't just rush dinner. You sit back and you take in the atmosphere, because atmosphere matters just as much as that plate. Avondale and San Marco aren't about trends. They're about taste. They're about walkability, river views, architecture, and a lifestyle that just feels a lot more rich when you're there. These neighborhoods don't chase attention, they attract people who already have it. But while some buyers are drawn to historic culture and others are looking for something different, this place is about preservation. This place is about peace, it's about privacy, it's about coastal legacy passed down over time. This is where Jacksonville wealth kind of slows down and stretches north. Now, Now, some places don't feel different, they feel magical. Now, that's exactly what happens when you step into Fernandina Beach and Amelia Island. Now, this is coastal luxury that slows you down literally the moment you arrive. From riding horses along the beach at sunrise to strolling across historic downtown, watching boats ease into the marina to slipping behind the gates of a private island resort. Now, this place feels like a different paced life. It's definitely more intentional. Amelia Island attracts buyers who aren't chasing that attention. They're protecting their peace, right? Like, it's the second home, it's the third home, this is the legacy properties, family thinking, generational, not just transactional. And the price point reflects the level of intention. Now, here, you should expect $1 million properties with premium oceanfront estates pushing around $15 million and even beyond that. Now, when we filmed Amelia Island, we took a tour of a $10 million home. Literally steps away from the sand, and let's just say this: breathtaking homes are tucked behind dunes. Gated resort communities, oceanfront estates designed to be held, not flipped. This is where wealth kind of just exhales. Mornings start off with that ocean air. Evenings end without any kind of urgency, and life feels expansive without needing all of the access. Fernandina Beach and Amelia Island don't compete with louder luxury markets at all. They offer something far more valuable: space, privacy, and time. This isn't vacation living, even though it feels like a resort. This is long-term legacy wrapped in salt air with nothing but intention. But every story has a forward edge. While some wealth chooses preservation and the retreat, others kind of position themselves for growth, opportunity, and what's next to come. And that brings us back to the city, where Jacksonville's future elite are quietly placing its bets. Every city has a chapter, and in Jacksonville, that chapter is being written right now. Listen to me, hear me out. Downtown Jacksonville isn't where legacy wealth started here, right? It's where future wealth is being positioned right now. This is not about nostalgia. This is about timing, developers and institutional investors and early adapters. The people buying downtown aren't guessing, they're betting. Riverfront redevelopment, new residential towers, and cultural investments. Public and private capital moving in the exact same direction. This is vertical luxury. We're talking about waterfront views and walkability. Access to sports, arts, dining, business without relying on gates or distance. And unlike traditional luxury neighborhoods, downtown isn't about seclusion. It's about proximity to opportunity. It's about growth to what's coming next. Living downtown is different type of mindset. You're not buying what Jacksonville was. What you're buying is what Jacksonville is actually becoming. And the buyers who understand this cycle, who recognize momentum early, and who want a seat at the table before it fills up, downtown, it's not a risk. It's actually a position. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's this. Jacksonville isn't one market. It's a collection of very different lifestyles that attracts people and buyers from everywhere around the world. Old money, new money, legacy families, executive founders, and creative investors. They don't all live in the same place. They're not supposed to. Luxury isn't about the price. It's about alignment, right? It's about choosing a neighborhood that fits how you live, how you move, and where you're going to go next. The biggest mistake people make is falling in love with one house before they understand the neighborhood around it. Because you can change the finishes, you can renovate the floor plan, but you can't replace a location, a culture, and community. That's why we break down these neighborhoods this way, right? Not trying to sell you on a home, but to try to help you understand clearly what this city is all about and make a decision that fits you. And whether you're just relocating, you're upgrading, or just trying to understand where you fit, there's no single best neighborhood here. There's only the right one for you. That's also why I put together a playlist breaking down different areas, lifestyles, price points all across the Northeast Florida area. So if this video has helped you, do me a favor, check those videos right there. We put 2 of them so you can better understand what Jacksonville is all about. And when you're ready for some real guidance, no pressure, no guesswork, I'm gonna put our phone number somewhere in here. Give us a call, shoot us a text, shoot us an email. We would love to serve you. But until next time, be great and choose excellence at everything you do.